urge them to have confidence and faith that everything is going to be okay and everything is happening like it's supposed to be happening.
Very good.
So reconnect to your planet, spread your love against each other and uh, against all of living energy on your planet, and you will help your planet raise through this vibrational transition just as you are going through this, because you are there with your planet and it's also giving birth now to another frequency.
All right, I'm sure they'll be very happy. I was switching from I was ending that last video and starting this over, but that message there were for 3H, M. Spoon, Barry Barber, Night Child, John Williams, Zach Droby, Jalen Key, and Britt Geezer for the questions that you asked. And of course, everybody else who's listening. So here is some of the questions that I had to ask that I've asked before, and I just know that now we're getting so many more answers and much more clearer content, and so I'm very appreciative of it. And a lot of them you already answered, but I'll just go with what was next. We spoke about the spear beings already, and you clarified that. And the blue avian, I notice in the form that Lars is in now, he's blue, and I don't think that's an avian. Um, uh, what can you tell us? And like I said, I know we've already spoke of this before about the blue avian and what they're doing here on this planet and
The
how.
blue avians is a high uh, vibrating beings. It's the foreman we spoke about before, and they manifested all often like a bird with long legs, and they still have rather human eyes, but they have a beak. That's the way they like to manifest, because that's the way there was manifested first time. So they are the ones that are overseeing what is happening now, and very, very high in the frequency.
And they're working in with the spear beings according
Yes.
to, okay,
They are
very.
manifesting like a sphere beings when they are really blue. They are coming in as energy in your reality because there is something they need to do for you or with you as a singular being.
Is Lars a part of that community? Of the
Yes,
it was that a yes?
yes, and so are you,
And I was gonna ask, was I a part of that community?
definitely.
And this
You're working really close with them almost every night when you are asleep. In your when your body and mind are asleep, you're working closely together with them.
and that's why because people ask me about those they're asking me about the blue orbs, and I keep saying I believe the blue orbs are part of the sphere beings, the ones that are with the that are been monitoring the energy that's coming off, or I don't know
You're
why I
correct.
can't find that word. So am I one of them physically manifest in a physical body? Is that what that is, or just
You
working with
have an
them?
aspect of them in you, but the original manifestation from you or from a place where, where almost consisted of water, you have been a being that are able to be in and alive in the water. You have been also inhabited of places under domes under the water, and you are definitely having an aspect of those high vibrational beings in you also. So you're on many things at the same time.
Yeah, I can tell that. I don't I guess I'm gonna post this. I already know people get really upset when, well, they don't get upset or whatever when they go, how come you're asking questions about you? And I know we've already gone over this before, and I just think that I have a right to do it because I took the time and the energy to learn how to do this and to raise my vibration enough for you to come through and communicate with me. And if you didn't want me to know, you would just not answer. Is that correct?
We are not, of course, resonating with this because it's not only for you. Every answer that's coming out, as you may ask them in a singular way, but they are resonating with many, many more. So there is no problem. We can see no problem in this. It's not made out of an ego. It's made out of a curiosity, and the focus is still to spreading the message of love and understanding.
Thank you for saying that because that is true. That is absolutely true. I think if I ask these questions about myself, there's probably 100, 1,000 other people who have the exact same affiliations that are working in the same councils in the same communities who have, there's so many people who are telling me in messages that, man, our life's so Kim. I like to. These are the subscribers. Kim says, she says our life seems to be like going like this. I just used the hand motion, but she said they seem to be very parallel. She says, man, that's the same type of thing that happened to me. Those are the same type of things that happen to me, and those are the people that I'm speaking to. And also, if I know more about myself, other people can then know more about themselves. And if I can, I'm the type of person who will ask the craziest type of question, and I know other people may be thinking the same question. So there it is.
You can change. When you ask the question, you say it's for you, that we are understanding that are for many more. If you change the label from I want to Alan want, then they will perceive it as you don't ask it for your personal interest. But we understand that you have a personal interest because you're working very hard in this area to help people to transcend and also to heal and teach them. So we have no problem with that. And the people that think it's out of uh,
Egoic.
egoic uh, terms, they are wrong. It's not like that at all.
No.
If it was your ego you wanted to boost, you can find a much better way to do it like this, because sometimes we're giving you also a hard time with our uh, answer,
Oh,
and you not always get the answer you want.
and yeah,
We,
that's true. But I
we
do
are
ask.
aware of that.
Okay. And even though I say for sure, I ask because I want to know, and hopefully someone else can. My intent is for someone else to be able to resonate with that for sure. But I definitely want to know because I want to know because, okay. So I want to go too far on that. Now, you just had there's a huge group of UFOs around you. One of the questions that I wanted to ask was about the armadas of ships that are surrounding the planet. And this armada, or I wouldn't call this an armada, I guess, 22 ships or light entities in different forms have arrived. To be a part of this. How are they all lending to this conversation, please?
They're coming from different frequency and different level of understanding, and they're coming together because we have focus on this today. And you and Lars are working to them very closely on many different levels. So they are here for you to assist you in this work you're doing now.
Okay, and I just want to go ahead and thank every last one of them. Now, these are some questions I'm not exactly sure if you're going to answer, but I know we seem to get more and more every time. we've been told that we have a secret space program, which means that there's part of our government, or maybe even our shadow government here, especially in the United States of America, that have back engineered and done some trading and have some literally ships uh, that can traverse our solar system, and not just like a rocket ship to the moon. I mean, actual ships that they're using. Is there a space program going on this planet? I mean, it's out there. Everybody's talking about it. And I don't think that if we were to say it or not say it would make anything any different. Or I'm not trying to make anyone a liar, but is there any truth to that? Or not any truth, but is
There
there?
has
Yes
been
or no?
experiment done in this area many times and together with other entities, but I have never result in what they thought and wished to result in. They were not able to back engineer to that level they really wanted to, so they are abandoning this now. And no, they have not been able to back engineered to any ship that you can take to other planets like we we have, because they are not able to understand the propulsion and the steering and the how you maneuver these ships. And they have given some technology from other entities, other beings, but they're lacking a lot of the understanding how it works together. So no, not in that way you uh, put it forward. But yes,
Okay,
that
so
has
do you
been
say
and
not?
still going on, but they are not succeeding in what they're trying to do.
Well, I just noticed we have to be very careful about how we ask questions, or we're only going to get particular answers. Now, you just said not in the way that I'm putting forward. So, okay, not in the way that I'm putting forward, in this way. Have they developed even on their own a technology that will take them to the moon, where they're not using rocket propulsion to get to the moon? Uh,
No,
and Mars either.
no.
So, what are all these ships that are flying through our atmosphere in silence that don't look like they're extraterrestrial ships, because those can disappear in the blink of an eye just by raising their vibration and be gone instantly?
Of
And
course, they're trying to develop new craft, especially the military, and some of them can be seen like what you before called flying saucer, but they are very uh, they are very much in a matter that are in your reality, so they are in solid form and have not the ability to travel for any longer distance or any higher speed or even to go to your moon.
okay, so what is the purpose of this huge storyline of saying that there's a dart? We have a whole a fleet of them that are work nothing but military missions all over the solar system. What's the purpose of saying all those things? What is the purpose of having this storyline of this war going on with us having this technology? Why say all that stuff? What is the purpose behind these stories? There's so many people saying it, and every time we have this conversation, to me, I said this before, all of a sudden everyone else is a liar, because this is supposed to be the truth that we're getting out of this. Do we only get the truth from you, or do you only give us what you think that we should know? Maya and Kay, I'm asking you directly.
We hold back some information, of course, because you're not ready to get this. But when we are talking about this area, it's resonating out of fear, and that is the bottom foundation of it all. And it's also resonating out of the ruling elite that want to keep on to that low density. As long as you are afraid of that something is going to happen to you, You will not release your fear, and you will stare at just in that direction that they are pointing.
But
They
I'm
are
not
pointing.
afraid. I'm not afraid. I know a lot of people aren't afraid. What is this so fearful of knowing if in fact they actually had this? Why would I be afraid? If they wanted to kill us all, or if they had all of this stuff to do this, then I think we would be dead already. Why do we always get, oh, that's just out of fear, that's just out of fear? I'm not afraid of it. I'm not afraid to talk about it or even ask about it. Or
No, no,
will
you're not. Many are not, but many are afraid that developing technology that's going to be used in different war and occupation of other countries, and 99% of all of this information is coming out of the United States because you are growing up in an area where the military has much power, much money, and much technology going on. And many are afraid of this. So when they tell you that, oh, they have this ability, they can destroy us, they can come and control you.
Well, they never said that. What they said is that they've already have already started putting bases on asteroids and doing all, and they've developed the whole solar system with all this technology that they have. So, I'm
Yes,
just trying to
and
figure
we
out.
can say from the knowledge I assemble here that this is not going on and this is not the reality because the scientists that are not connected with the elite should put that out for you all in this time area. So no, that is not happening.
I still keep trying to figure out what would be the motivation of us telling of them telling us that all of that stuff is happening. I guess
Keeping a
I
low vibration, keeping you all in check, keeping you all in control. That is the purpose from them from the beginning.
And so these people who are giving out this information, that are saying these things, do they even know that they're a part of this disinformation tactic, or are
No,
they unaware?
no, they are, some of them are unaware, some of them are into this area and are working together with that black operations, as you can call them.
Okay, so one of the things that they brought up, that I guess there were people who had said to talk about blue avians before. I know I've been dreaming about them. I know I used to draw them when I was a little kid as these talking beings, and we know that I did a session, and Horus said that he was part of the avian community, the god Horus or whatever, an Egyptian from Egypt, but the person who's talking about these blue avian, they're the ones who are talking about all of these secret space programs. And is there a secret space program? Which means, and I'm asking specifically, they do have some ships that they are using that are back engineered. They may not be able to do all the things that they say they can do, but yet they do have them. They do have some ships that they've developed that are basically human, that humans can fly in, that don't use rocket propulsion or jet fuel. Is that correct?
They don't have that. They have crafts, but they are propulsion and controlled very mechanically.
Okay.
So sure, they can be seen like a ship from another place, but they're just physical. So no, they don't have the ability to back engineer the real technique behind a ship propulsion, a ship weaponry if there were something. And the blue avians, even if they get something wrong, they get something right also, of course. And the blue avians should never hold into any weapon or any secret things
No, I think
for you.
that they threw, to me, if what you're saying is accurate, I think the Blue Avian have just sort of been thrown into the mix because they're familiar with the Blue Avian, and And so, you know, a
Yeah,
little
and
bit
these
of truth,
people
a
are
little bit of
fed
lies, a little
into
bit of,
this. These people are fed into the belief of that this is going on. And what should be the purpose behind that? If you just use common sense, what should be the purpose for your military or your government to have this technique and don't use it openly? What is the purpose? That's the question for us,
well,
for
here's the
you to
here.
think
Okay, so
about.
here I know. Okay, so in Georgia, there's a called the Georgia Guidestones. There's these huge stones that they put up. First, one of the main things that they said that they wanted to do was to kill off a majority of the population on the planet because they think there's too many of us here. They call us bottom feeders. You know, that's one of their objectives on this
Yeah,
guide stone. And
and
yes,
that's fear.
yeah, it is fear mongering. So when you look at that and then you think, okay, now our babies are made to take all these vaccinations, and these vaccinations are turning into all these different type of diseases or what have you. And then you look at the water, and then someone takes the water and they run it through some chemicals and say, hey, look at all the mercury and this and that and fluoride, all of these things that are very negative to the human body is actually in the water, and then you see them spraying chemtrails in the air. Now you can say that it's all negative, but when people actually take it and they break it down and see what the disparate elements are within it, a lot of it is extremely poisonous, and it is being projected on all of us because our hospitals are growing bigger. One of the biggest industries on the planet is in the hospitals because so many people are sick. So you know, you could call it fear mongering all day, but it seems like there's a pretty negative agenda going on here. I just had a friend call me minutes before Lars and I started this section, and he works for the Catholic Church, for the Archdiocese, and he was just going on about how miserable life is on this planet. And I was telling him that, you know, he should have faith and see things from a different perspective. So that's why I ask these questions, and that's why so many people have the same questions. And I
And
have,
where is this information coming from? And where is it put out? And who is listening to this? Because more and more of you waking up, understanding, yes, they are having tried and still trying to keep you in a low density that we have talked about over and over and over for you again to
mhm.
resonate with your understanding of what's happening, but you're still soon 9 billion humans on this planet, so they haven't succeeded to wipe out the humanity, as you say.
That's
And
true.
this was talking about already 10 years ago, and you're still growing in the population. So maybe they are just useless in what they're trying to do. Or maybe it's just to keep you think about these things that keep you low in vibration and density. That is what we would like to put out, that they're trying to keep you in low density. So you should shook that off your shoulders. You should pay no attention because you're still all alive.
Yeah, we're still all alive, but you ask all the parents whose babies are now on a regimen of drugs because and when they're being born on this planet, there's so many horrible things that are absolutely wrong with them. That's one question that I just for almost forgot about, and I'm so glad that we got there. Just one person asked how to help indigo children activate their gifts and how do they perceive the world. So the first of all is as far as the indigo these children that we were speaking about earlier, star seeds being born into physical bodies, there are their abilities already activated when they come into to this planet.
Yes, it's your society that put a lid on that, not the parents often, but the parents can be afraid that they will not be accepted in the society and try to depress the abilities. But you should, why not ask them? What would you love to do? What will make you happy? My son, my daughter, what make you really happy? And they will answer you and help them on that path.
Okay, very good. Well,
And more of you are also aware that they have tried many different ways to suppress you, uh, people in your country and many other countries also. But more and more that waking up saying you are now aware of that they're trying to impose poison on you. So therefore they are exposed, are not longer uh, 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 are not longer able to do that in that rate that I have done before. For everyone that's waking up to say, stop this going on, we don't want it, then it's resonating through the whole society and it will shift in the intention uh, and in the way that you, uh, in
desire
the
for
way,
our destiny to manifest. I understand that. Okay, so here's my last thought with that then, and I'll move on, or will I pretty much I won't. I don't think I'll have any more. The fact, I don't do you think that it's, you say not to focus on it, but if we don't talk about it and we don't focus on it and we sort of bury our heads in the sand, we just go along with the program. Now you say people are waking up every single day and they're becoming aware of this. We have to look at it dead in the face. It's like looking fear in the face, not because we're looking it in the face to be afraid of it. We're looking in the face to say we no longer desire you because you no longer serve us in the direction that we desire to go. So we're not, it's not for out of fear, it's out of, okay, now that we see this, because we have to face it. This isn't the kind of place where we can just say, oh, love, 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 love. It is what we need to do, but we still have to face what it is, because it doesn't just disappear. It doesn't just disappear. I mean, you
you,
said yourself it took how many thousands of years after you deported them off the planet to get the energy back to where it was sustainable. You said it took a,
yes,
it
that's
took,
why it's so important. You should not focus on it. You should be aware of it. It's a totally
exactly.
different thing. And when you are aware of it, it resonated with your surroundings of your beings. Because if you're then focusing on positive thing, the negative will die out automatically. It always does. And you should never enf- uh, enforce these uh, messages by spreading it in a wider way by making articles and YouTube things about this. You should be aware of it, and you can talk since your nearest society to be aware of it, but more and more of you are aware of it, and it will lose its power to have the impact that was the purpose from the beginning with
Well,
this.
I just I thought that the collective had more power if they're more aware of it. If people don't know about it, there's a hard there. I already know right now. I could go outside or I can go to where there's a bunch of people that work and start having this conversation, and no one is aware of it. You're saying that more and more people are aware of it. Yes, they are, but the only how they're aware of it is because people are telling them, so they understand that it's happening. All this stuff is, well, to not say anything is to sort of bury your head in the sand and to duck to avoid it. I don't think that that's in our best interest, that we have to, so people are aware of it and more people are aware of it. And I think that there should be more videos that people talk about it, because then they are aware of it. Why do you think that that's all? If all of these light workers and entities that are on this planet that are manifesting in these bodies already knew what their life purpose was when they came here, was to help this process, and they have a higher vibration than the average person who's been stuck here for a very long time, why wouldn't it be in their best interest to be aware of this, so they can then make a change with how they're thinking about it, as opposed to like, okay, let's just not talk about it? I think if we don't talk about it, how was it just keeps spreading, and and they maintain control much longer. I don't understand why you don't
So
know
if
they
it keeps spreading, will you not be more aware of it then? We
spreading the
said we would
information, so
try to
so
say
people
that
know. so people know, and so they are aware of it. Why do you think we're so weak and we're such lesser beings that just because we know about it, we're just going to crumble in fear? When 9/11 went down, nobody crumbled in fear. We're still here. When all the World War I, World War II, Vietnam War, all these nasty, horrible wars that happened, people know about it. We learn about it, and then we have to choose. Okay, that's not what we want anymore because that's not helping us. This is not a good thing. If we don't talk about
But this
the
is already happening. You're already resonating to this that you don't want it. So why keep spreading the message?
because
Spread
not
the message of
everyone knows. Do you know? I don't think you guys understand from your perspective. Everyone doesn't know. They
we
don't
don't
know.
have, we
You
think you don't understand how this is working. And you really keep on saying the same thing and you're not really listening to this message. The message is not to keep spreading it as a fact. The thing is spreading it as making attention of the negativity of it. So if you spread a message, you should not say the government is doing this. You should say the wrongdoing of the government doing this. We need to change it. So there's two different levels of the same thing, but we will try to put this easier.
No,
If
no,
you,
that's good.
if
I understand. I'm doing this on purpose. I don't know if you realize that. I'm saying it the way that I'm saying it on purpose because this is what people think. This is how people think. And if you
yes,
can go ahead and give us the explanation that the people need to know, you don't hear me fear mongering all the time. We're talking about that whole thing. I'm just saying this is what the people who are listening are thinking. And
yes.
so you have the
And
floor.
what are that thinking resonating out of? If the thinking is, oh, this is terrible, this is going on, I'm afraid. And you say you are not afraid as a single being, but there are millions of people out there surrounding you that are afraid that they are under attack all the time. You have to understand that this is a fact that many, many, many humans on your planet are afraid of being attacked, being controlled, and when they put out this, yes, you're being controlled, it just resonates in a very low density. So it's very, very important how you put out the message. Not to keep on to that low density. It's like, yes, we have a war in Vietnam, and now we don't want that anymore. We go out on the streets and say, we don't want the war anymore. We don't want to be in that low density. And that is how you should spread this message. You're spreading it with a positive way of collectively being able to change it because collectively you have all the power and you can make all of the low vibrating entities, energies disappear by just holding on to a higher frequency.
Excellent. Very good.
So why not make showing me a sign? We don't want it. It says on the sign. Go out, say it. We don't want it. But I, they're telling me that they're talking about the place where the water was contaminated with uh, lead and so on. They're talking about, they say Flint, Flint.
Yes.
Yeah, they're saying this was brought to attention and now have to change. That is how you change it. Brought it to attention by not saying that this is terrible, by saying this we have to change. Then it's starting to change. It has no other way to go. It's have to change to a better, higher frequency and not that low density.
Very good. That's all I wanted to get out of you. You understand that, right?
Sure,
I
we
mean,
love
this
we
is how.
love to be able to spread this message because it's so important for all of humanity and all of you animal and all of your plants now to get rid of this fear mongering energy that are a low density. and are in attention of small groups trying to keep on to low density, because when we are rising as a collective, they lose the power and they will not give it up freely. And there are so many different society in your society that keeping on to this is the religious area, and many different churches in your country mostly spreading fear, and they are just feeding into this almost like a vortex of low density. And that's why we're now bringing these messages out to you light being, to you can stop this hurricane or this tornado turning. You can do that by being a collective loving beings. It will erase everything, and you can do it in an instant if you set your mind to it.
Excellent. Kay and Maya, we are very grateful for for the opportunity to come together like this and have this what is it, a round table, because since he's surrounded and all the entities from the other galaxies and from throughout the multiverse, we very much appreciate you. I know I'm apologizing, but at the same time, I was just trying to make a point at how people are when it comes to their thoughts about this process, this ascension
Yeah.
process that we're going through, and all the things that are happening. And so I just wanted to give everybody a voice, and so we don't just sound a particular way. And I know you understand that, and so thank you.
Yes, that was what we were trying to say, that it's very much important. It's how you think, because it's how you think that is creating your reality, that is creating your way of life. So if you're focusing on something holding you down, it will be a very struggling life you're going to hang on to. But if you're going out, spreading love, it's coming back to you in so much higher level that it will be almost overwhelming. It's a game of pay it forward. Please play that in a positive way.
Excellent. So here are the best, and I already know what the answers to all these questions are, and I just want you to either you can yes or no, but our thoughts and our beliefs and our intent make our reality or create our reality,
Yes.
and we are all one because there is only one, which is prime creator or the source of all, which is all that is.
The core of us is one, but we're still singular beings.
Very good. Okay. Is there anything else that anyone in this roundtable would like to share with us at this moment? I was going to ask you, but I'll just wait till another. I'm not going to bring up any of these questions ever again. So anytime someone asks me all these different type of questions, I'm going to say, go back to this, go back to that one, go back to that one. I'm not going to be talking about the space and all the moon and all that. We'll figure it all out at the end. I don't want to have to talk about that anymore. I just want to talk about what's going to help us through this ascension process and what the things that are holding us back. And that's where my focus will be from here on out. Some people were asking me some religious questions, but I was like, I'm not getting ready to discuss religions, and that's where you get yourself in trouble because some people are somewhat fanatic when it comes to those type of things. So I'll try and back off, and whatever anyone in the circle would like to add at this time, I would very much appreciate it, and I'll just give you the floor.
We can resonate with this religion's mother. There is nothing wrong with faith. What is wrong in that realm is that you're trying to get all the answers just out of one book in the Western society.
Mm-hmm.
The knowledge is not in that book. The knowledge is with inside you. So
Yes.
let go of that book, but still have faith. Have faith in humanity and have faith in love and in faith in the good energy. And let go of the bad energy, and you will transit into this raising of frequency in a much quicker way. You will be helped, you will be guided, you will be supported in any way you need. Still, you're going to have some struggle in your life, but that is resonating in the way you are thinking, the way you are perceiving. So when you change that way, all that struggle will disappear like magic, like magic. And when you're resonating in tune with your own inner core, resonating out of the source, you will feel happy, you will know the understanding, but you still have a lot of work to do. And Maya is showing me now Hank manifested there, and she stroked your cheek like a mother strokes a cheek on a young boy and say, "We love you so much, we love you so much." And she's sending her love to you, Hank. She's sending love to all that resonating and listen to this. And they are so happy to be able to share this with you. But you also have to understand that you still need some patience, and you still have to focus on where your mindset is as a human. Where your mindset is as a human, it's where it's going to manifest for you. So when Hank talking about we creating our reality, he's absolutely right. But also understand that we are bombarding with information from so many sources. So maybe you should just take your energy, move out into the forest or onto a meadow, sit down, be quiet, and listen to your inner self, because there are all the answers. You don't need news channels, newspaper. They don't have the answer. You have. So listen to yourself, follow your intuition, and all will be good. Well,
Excellent. Well, thank you very, very much for that. I know that,
but the original manifestation from you or from a place where, where almost consisted of water, you have been a being that are able to be in and alive in the water. You have been also inhabited of places under domes under the water, and you are definitely having an aspect of those high vibrational beings in you also. So you are many things at the same time.
yeah, I can tell that. I don't. I guess I'm gonna post this. I already know people get really upset when, well, they don't get upset or whatever when they go, "How come you're asking questions about you?" And I know we've already gone over this before, and I just think that I have a right to do it because I took the time and the energy to learn how to do this and to raise my vibration enough for you to come through and communicate with me. And if you didn't want me to know, you would just not answer. Is that correct?
We are not, of course, resonating with this because it's not only for you. Every answer that coming out, as you may ask them in a singular way, but urge them to have confidence and faith that everything is going to be okay. and everything is happening like it's supposed to be happening.
Very good.
So reconnect to your planet, spread your love against each other, and uh, against all of living energy on your planet, and you will help your planet raise through this vibrational transition just as you are going through this, because you are there with your planet, and it's also giving birth now to another frequency.
All right, I'm sure they'll be very happy. I was switching from I was ending that last video and starting this over, but that message there were for 3H, M. Spoon, Barry Barber, Night Child, John Williams, Zach Droby, Jalen Key, and Britt Geezer for the questions that you asked. And of course everybody else who's listening. So here is some of the questions that I had to ask that I've asked before, and I just know that now we're getting so many more answers and much more clearer content, and so I'm very appreciative of it. And a lot of them you already answered, but I'll just go with what was next. We spoke about the spear beings already, and you clarified that. And the blue avian, I notice in the form that Lars is in now, he's blue, and I don't think that's an avian. Um, uh, what can you tell us? And like I said, I know we've already spoke of this before about the blue avian and what they're doing here on this planet and
The
how.
blue avians is a high uh, vibrating beings. It's the foreman we spoke about before, and they manifested all often like a bird with long legs, and they still have rather human eyes, but they have a beak. That's the way they like to manifest, because that's the way there was manifested first time. So they are the ones that are overseeing what is happening now, and very, very high in the frequency.
And they're working in with the spear beings according
Yes.
to, okay,
They
very.
are manifesting like a sphere beings when they are really blue. They are coming in as energy in your reality because there is something they need to do for you or with you as a singular being.
Is Lars a part of that community? Of the
Yes,
It was that a yes?
yes, and so are you,
And I was gonna ask, was I a part of that community?
definitely.
And this
You're working really close with them almost every night when you are asleep. In your when your body and mind are asleep, you're working closely together with them.
and that's why, because people ask me about those, they're asking me about the blue orbs, and I keep saying, I believe the blue orbs are part of the sphere beings, the ones that are with the that are been monitoring the energy that's coming off, or I don't know
You're
why
correct.
can't find that word. So, am I one of them physically manifest in a physical body? Is that what that is, or just
You
working with
have an
them?
aspect of them in you. They are resonating with many, many more. So there is no problem. We can see no problem or in this. It's not made out of an ego. It's made out of a curiosity, and the focus is still to spreading the message of love and understanding.
Thank you for saying that, because that is true. That is absolutely true. I think if I ask these questions about myself, there's probably 100, 1,000 other people who have the exact same affiliations that are working in the same councils in the same communities who have, there's so many people who are telling me in messages that, man, our life's so Kim. I like to. These are the subscribers. Kim says, she says our life seems to be like going like this. I just used the hand motion, but she said they seem to be very parallel. She says, man, that's the same type of thing that happened to me. Those are the same type of things that happen to me, and those are the people that I'm speaking to. And also, if I know more about myself, other people can then know more about themselves. And if I can, I'm the type of person who will ask the craziest type of question, and I know other people may be thinking the same question. So there it is.
You can change. When you ask the question, you say it's for you, that we are